Hello, welcome. I'm Pauline and
I'm Joey.
And this is our Toots on Tuesday.
Number 4.
So we're really thrilled to be back with you. Now, Joey, you had homework.
I did have homework. I had to cut out all of these lovely little shapes here using these wonderful templates.
You've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you very much, Pauline.
Did you find it difficult or...?
No, actually really, really easy with the templates. It just makes it so simple. And it gives it, all the shapes are correct, and it has the little corners there for the 1/4 inches, and very easy to cut out.
Very good, very good. So I think you've earned a gold star.
I was going to
She's
say,
done a perfect
is
job.
there a gold star for me? We're only a minute in, and
I think so. And I hope there's a lot of watchers out there that are going to earn gold stars also.
I hope so too.
Yeah, so we hope everybody's starting to enjoy what we're teaching you about how to become proficient with patchwork.
Excellent.
So now we're going to start joining this together today. That's our lesson, is putting you at the sewing machine and teaching you all about patching.
So it's starting to get real.
It is. It is. This is a challenge. But, you know, we've got the block laid out here as per the diagram. And I've noticed you've put little snippets of fabric down here and you've got all your numbers and everything.
Number coded. I'm a numbers girl, so I just coded it with the numbers and put my numbers in so I knew where I had to put everything.
That's fantastic. That's very good. And you're like, as you get a lot better at this, you won't need to do all of that. But, you know, it just takes a little bit of time. Don't rush things, everybody. Just take your time, slow down. You'll get a much better result. So now we're ready to start going and putting this together. So can you get an idea of here how it's going to go together? Would you know what to sew together first?
Well, it seems to me like you might need to sew the smaller pieces together first. So possibly the triangles together, because if you haven't got those joined, you can't join them along this long line here. So I would think the triangles to make squares.
Another gold star.
Ah, yes.
You're getting plenty. And that's it. You could start anywhere here. What we try to do is make units. Make triangles into squares, make squares into rows, and then construct our rows together. So this is a little bit of a jigsaw. So by looking at this, we're going to go through. You've got lots of pairs of triangles to put together. So that's the first thing we'll do. Once we get the triangles together into squares, we'll join those squares together. Then up here it gets a little bit more tricky because we've got 2 sets of triangles into squares. Then we'll join a square onto these squares.
And make a strip along here.
Exactly right. And the same up this end. Triangles together onto the rectangle, onto this unit. And then this could be the last unit. But there's no right or wrong way. It's just getting your units together so you get that continual line flowing through. So we're going to now talk about the 1/4 inch foot for the machine because, you know, different machines have different feet. There's a few little problems that can happen with some of our 1/4 inch feet. So let me just go over with you what I use and what you'll be using on on the machine here.
Let's have a look.
Okay. So now we'll just bring this over so that we can see it quite clearly. I've got 3 different 1/4 inch feet here. You know, because I've got to have one of everything. But, you know, most people will just have a 1/4 inch foot like this one. Okay, this is just a normal 1/4 inch foot. So from the needle centre position to the outside edge measures a 1/4 inch either side. Fantastic. Then it can be a little bit of a problem because the foot doesn't cover the feed dogs completely. So your fabric can get sucked down when we start sewing.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me. Is that because of the foot?
That's because the width of the foot doesn't cover the width of the feed dogs.
Oh, okay,
So
that's interesting.
they're not feeding through evenly. I do like the 1/4 inch foot that's got the little guide down the side. See that little guide? So still from the centre needle position out to the edge, it measures a 1/4 inch. So when we sew, we keep this guide right up against the edge of the fabric. A lot of people like to use this foot, which I like. But once again, we still can have the problem with it sucking down. Now, since I've got my new Banana, which I must say I love, they've made one side of the foot a little bit wider. So can you see that there, how much wider it is than this one?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so now it covers all of the feed dogs.
So your 1/4 inch measurement is only on that
That's
side.
right. That's right. Which is fantastic. Which is because that's always the side I'm going to have it anyway.
And that eliminates that problem of the fabric getting sucked down into the feed
Exactly.
bogs.
So which is very clever to have one side of the foot. So now it's going to measure and fit right across those feed dogs. So that's the foot we're going to use.
Lovely. I'm looking forward to it.
So we're going to go set up the machine. We're going to talk about the threads because I would like for you to use a good quality thread when we're sewing. Don't just use anything because when we do patchwork, if you don't realise, your quilts will last for centuries. If you use good quality fabrics, which we talked about up front in the first lesson, and good quality threads, everything will stay together for years. You'll be able to pass it down through the generations.
So what's your recommendation?
I love to use Rasant. Rasant, it's a 1 core of polyester down through the middle and it's wrapped with layers of cotton. So we have that little bit of flexibility with a little bit of give in it, but it doesn't cut through the fibres of our fabrics. A normal polyester thread, and it's interesting, I just had a lady the other day say she made a beautiful block up of when she ironed it. She had all these gaps appearing in it because the polyester thread had melted.
Oh, no.
So we have to be very careful what threads we use. So Rasant is my favourite, and that's what I'm going to have you on the machine today, in the bobbin and in the top. So just find a neutral thread. I find sometimes on colours like this, a neutral, beigey cream would be wonderful. But if all else fails, a medium grey thread works wonderful because it blends in with most fabrics.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So then you don't have to use or have a supply of a lot of different coloured threads. So let's go to the machine and we're going to start by putting these triangles together.
Okay, these two?
To make these two into squares. And
All
we'll
right.
set up the machine exactly right for you.
Let's go to the machine.
Let's go.
This way.
Okay, we're all set up. We've got your machine all ready. Great work. You did a good job there. You've threaded up with the Rasant thread and you've chosen to use a nice cream, neutral thread that will blend into your fabrics beautifully. You've got the 1/4 inch foot on that we talked about. Now, the needle in the machine, I like to use the titanium top stitch needles. And I use those for a couple of reasons. One is they've got a very big eye, which is brilliant. My machine's got a needle threader.
You've got a big eye.
They've got a big eye.
A big eye for the square guy.
Oh, you're on form. But they're very easy to thread, even though I have a needle threader. A lot of people don't have a needle threader on their machine, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But having the big eye is wonderful. And when we start quilting with finer threads than that, the big eye needle is really an advantage. Plus, being titanium, they stay sharper for so much longer than a regular needle. So that's why I love those. But now I want to talk to you about setting the machine up to be stitching the exact 1/4 inch that our template allows.
So, but this is a 1/4 inch foot. So
It is, but do we know that it's the same 1/4 inches as what's on the template?
So isn't a 1/4 inch just a 1/4 inch?
No, I found over the years that it's not. So this is where we use our template and our machine to the advantage to get the exact 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to introduce you to the awl.
Hello, all. Nice to meet
This
you.
is an awl, AWL, okay, that I use all, ALL, the time at my sewing machine.
This all is all things to me.
It is, it's brilliant. So now what we're going to do is I'd like you to line up the edge of the template with the edge of the 1/4 inch foot.
So I need to put the foot down.
Put the pressure foot down.
Okay.
Right. Now use your awl to run up the side of the template and the foot so they align together.
So I'll be feeling to see if there's a difference between there and there.
Exactly. And then just adjust the template so it lines up to the side of the foot.
I think it's a little bit out.
And it takes a few seconds to do this, but it's well worth doing.
Oh, touch more this way. Oops.
And yeah, just fiddle till you get it right.
Very nice.
Right, now just put your needle down, just gently. You don't want to break the needle. Just wind it down gently. Is that lining up with the 1/4 inch on the template?
No, it is not.
Okay, so there would become a big problem to you because I think you're about 1 or 2 threads out.
Okay, what
So
do I do?
I'm going to get you now to move your needle position.
okay.
So you know what button that is. So we're going to move the needle over so the needle aligns exactly on the line of the template.
What do you think? Do you think that's good?
That's perfect.
Oh, look
Perfect.
at that. It is lovely.
So now that would be your perfect setting to get all your seams to come together perfect. And for you to have the 1/4 inch that we need around the outside edge of all of our triangles. So does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
Because
it's very handy marking on this template.
It is. And it's just that we use different rulers, different templates. All machines have different 1/4 inch feet. Most machines you can move the needle position. And if we can encourage people to set up your needle position to be exactly the same 1/4 inch as what you've used to cut out with, you're not going to have any problems. So now we're ready to start sewing. So we're going to actually just sew 2 triangles together. You need to start, so you're sewing right onto the edge.
So
right on the edge.
Right from here.
Yes.
So this part here, that's where my 1/4 inch
Exactly,
is.
that's where it should come on. If everything's aligned up properly, so drop your foot down, have the edge of the fabric right on the edge of the foot. And, you get a little bit more familiar and faster with this as you go along, but as a beginner, it's nice to take your time and get everything aligned up. Okay, so
Do you feel that that's correct, Pauline? Please
that looks
guide.
perfect to me. Now, I would put your needle in the down position so that it's holding everything fine for you.
Okay.
And then off you go. And it's great that you've got the awl in your hand, because if you get down to the edge there where the 2 ends are to match, if one fabric is stretching more than the other, which can happen, you're going to use your awl to make sure they end up exactly the same length. Don't have one finish shorter than the other. Now, Joey, because this, if you notice, this foot is not completely covering the feed dogs on that right-hand side there, I want you to hold these 2 threads when you get started. That will help it start to feed through for you. There we go. So you can let the threads go now. So just keep an eye on the side of the foot, not on the needle. Now you may need the awl at the end here, so stop and pick up your awl. Make sure those 2 ends are exactly level. And the nice point on the awl allows you to really control this. It's like a third hand, another set of fingers, which just hold it right till the end.
Very handy.
It's very handy. There we go. Now stop. Now I'm going to get you to get the next set of triangles, align the ends up. So now we're chain piecing, which means you're going one set after the other. So you'll chain piece through all your triangles exactly like this. The awl, see how the awl helped you feed that through?
That's beautiful.
Really makes the process very nice. So get those 2 aligned, that's good, excellent. So that's how you would piece all of your triangles together. Just continue to chain piece.
Would you stitch off the edge here?
Exactly, stitch right off the edge. Now lift your foot up, the pressure foot up.
Not my foot. Needle up.
Yep, and cut your thread. Don't cut it right off short. Leave yourself about 1/8 of an inch thread.
1/8 of an inch,
Yep.
that's tiny.
That is tiny. Okay, and then I would snip in between and see how you've got about 1/8 on either end there when you snip, and snip off these ends. I hate threads hanging around because it really drives you crazy as you start to piece this blocks together. Good girl.
Okay.
So now let's do a bit of pressing. We've got the little ironing mat set up alongside you and the little mini iron, which is fabulous for when you're piecing. So now we're going to press, not iron. Okay.
Going to.
You just lost a star. You were ironing. Pressing is just putting the iron.
I'm still doing it.
You are. Turn it over now. Now put the iron down on it. Lift the iron up. That's it.
So why am I
Now,
doing that?
You're doing that because a lot of our threads will stretch. So by pressing the threads, we're setting them into the fibres of the fabric and we get no stretching.
Okay, so pressing.
Good girl. You just got a star back.
Oh, she's so generous. Generous
So there we
with those
go.
stars.
Now, I want you to have the darkest piece facing down on the ironing board.
That piece
Yes. Open up the lighter one. And you're just going to gently press back. Oh, sorry, we've gone the wrong way. It needs to be the lighter one down on the
there.
ironing
I think
board.
Pauline lost a star.
I did. So there you go.
So-
open it out, and you're just going to put the heel of the iron against that stitching line,
On
against
the
that
light
seam.
side?
On the light side, and we're pressing back to the dark. Just gently press it, don't stretch it. That's perfect. Perfect. So if we do the same to the other one,
So the light side down. I've already pressed the stitching.
you have, yes.
So opening it out like this.
As you get better and work through and get more proficient at it, a lot of times you can just finger press. You don't need to use the iron. But it's really handy to have the little cutting mat which is a pressing mat as well as a cutting mat, and the little mini iron alongside you. And there you've got your perfect squares. So you can see here now, they both measure the same measurement. You haven't got any little dips in your seam. They're nice and cleanly pressed. And you're ready to start constructing the block.
Oh, magic.
Well done. Well done. You've started putting your units together. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
You've got them, the ends joining up perfectly as they should. You've pressed them perfect. That is wonderful. Well done. Good
Thank
on
you.
you. Yay. So the next lesson, we're going to start putting all of the units together to make your very first basket block. So
fantastic.
good on you. So there's no homework to do.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
you're very lucky that you've done such a great job. So till we see you next time, it's from Pauline here at PQW on Toots on Tuesday.
And from Joey.
Bye for now.
Oh, look, Pauline. They're glasses covers. Now you can't see me make mistakes. I won't lose the gold stars.
You're an idiot.